Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day you decide to stop living in limbo. I don't care where you've been or what you've been through. Today, right now, is your time to make a decision. It's time to stop lingering in that space of uncertainty. It's time to stop living in between what was and what could be. It's time to step out of the holding pattern and move forward. You see, life will give you opportunities. It will present moments for growth, for breakthrough, for change. But if you're stuck in limbo, none of those opportunities matter. You can't receive what you're meant to have if you refuse to make a move. Acknowledge where you are, but don't stay there. I know the struggle. I know what it feels like to be in that space where you're not where you used to be, but you're not quite where you want to go. You're stuck in between. And the longer you stay there, the more you begin to believe that this is all there is. But I'm here to tell you, it's not. Your current position is not your final destination. And the truth is, you have the power to change it. The breakthrough you've been waiting for, the change you've been hoping for, it all starts with a decision. It starts when you decide that today is the day. You decide you're no longer going to wait for everything to line up perfectly before you make a move. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for things to fall into place. The moment you make a decision, things begin to shift. Your future starts with your decision today. Now, I know fear creeps in, right? It whispers in your ear telling you that it's too risky, that it's too big, too overwhelming. Fear will paralyze you, but I'm here to tell you that fear is a liar. Faith is stronger than fear. And let me tell you something. Faith is not just believing that something good will happen. Faith is acting like it's already done. Faith is making the move even when the path isn't clear. Faith is the courage to step out when you don't have all the answers. You have to trust yourself enough to step into the unknown. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's uncertain, but nothing grows in comfort. Nothing expands without a little push. You can't be afraid to grow. Growth is your calling. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not moving, you're stuck. And stuck is not where you were meant to be. You have to let go of what's holding you back, whether it's past pain, regret, or fear of failure. It's time to release those chains. You can't hold on to yesterday and step into tomorrow at the same time. The longer you hold on to what didn't work, the longer you'll be stuck. Release it, forgive, forget, move forward. And finally, understand this: you have a purpose. This life was not meant for you to just drift in limbo, wondering if today is the day that something changes. No, you were designed for something greater. Your purpose is bigger than you can even imagine. But you can't find it in limbo. You can't find it in a place of waiting. You find it when you move. When you step out, when you take that leap of faith. It's time to stop waiting. Stop looking back. Stop letting life just happen to you. It's time to step into your destiny, your purpose, your calling. So today I challenge you, make the decision to move. Break free from the chains of limbo. Trust that your faith, your growth, and your purpose are waiting for you on the other side. Take that step. The path is ready for you to walk it. Stop living in limbo. Step into your destiny now. Living in limbo begins when we become so consumed with the present moment that we forget we have the power to shape our future. It's easy to look around and feel overwhelmed by where we are. You might be in a job that doesn't fulfill you, in a relationship that's holding you back, or simply feeling stuck in a cycle that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And while it's important to recognize where you are, it's equally important not to allow that place to become your permanent address. Too often we let the weight of our present circumstances become a definition of who we are, and that's where we get stuck. You see, acknowledging your current reality doesn't mean you have to accept it as your future. Acknowledgement is simply the first step toward change. It's a recognition of the fact that you're not where you want to be, but it doesn't stop there. Once you acknowledge where you are, you need to ask yourself, is this all I'm willing to accept, or is there something greater waiting for me on the other side? You have to understand that your present situation is just a chapter, not the whole story. Don't let your circumstances become your identity. There's a difference between knowing where you are and staying there. Too many people get trapped in the what if and why not me cycle, and they end up settling into a life of resignation. But you were made for more than that. You're meant to step into the fullness of your potential. And the first step is realizing that where you are now is not where you'll always be. The key to moving forward is to acknowledge your current position without letting it define you. Recognize that you have the ability to shift your reality, and that change begins with a mindset. When you refuse to stay stuck in your current situation, when you decide that today will be the day you take action, you open the door for everything to shift. You don't have to be stuck in limbo. Your future begins the moment you make the decision to leave where you are behind and move toward where you're going. The power to break free from limbo lies in your ability to make a decision, and I'm not talking about a casual thought or a fleeting desire. I'm talking about a decision that shakes you to your core, a decision that you refuse to back down from, no matter how hard the road ahead might seem. Many of us find ourselves paralyzed in indecision, constantly weighing the pros and cons, waiting for the perfect moment, or hoping for a sign. But the truth is, waiting for perfection is the very thing that keeps us stuck. Perfection doesn't exist, and waiting for it will keep you locked in the waiting room of your life. When you decide, really decide, something shifts. The universe doesn't need everything to be lined up in order for you to take the next step. You don't need to know the whole journey. You just need to move in the direction of your destiny. Just understand that. Once you make a firm decision, the path begins to clear. The doors that once seemed locked suddenly open, and the obstacles that appeared insurmountable begin to feel like stepping stones. But none of that happens until you decide. You see, many of us wait because we're afraid of failure. We want to make sure we have it all figured out before taking action. But let me tell you this, you will never have it all figured out. There will always be a level of uncertainty, always an element of the unknown. If you allow fear to control you, you'll stay right where you are, forever wondering, what if? But when you decide that fear no longer has control over you, the moment you decide is the moment fear loses its power. Remember, you have everything within you to move forward. You just have to decide that you will. It's not about waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect circumstance. It's about deciding to trust yourself and your ability to move even when things aren't perfect. The decision to change is the key to unlocking everything that's waiting for you on the other side of limbo. Fear is the force that keeps so many of us stuck in limbo. It's the voice in our heads that tells us we're not ready, that we're not capable, that we're going to fail. It whispers doubts about our worth and tells us all the reasons why we shouldn't take that next step. But I want you to hear me when I say this. Fear is not your friend. Fear is a liar. Fear thrives in uncertainty, and it feeds on your doubt. It has no real power unless you give it permission to control you. Faith doesn't wait for certainty. It doesn't wait for the storm to calm down before stepping into the boat. Faith says, even though I can't see how this is going to work, I believe it will. Faith is the courage to move in the face of fear, to act even when the path is unclear. It's about trusting that you have everything inside of you to handle whatever comes your way. And let me tell you this, faith is not the absence of fear. It's the courage to move through it. You'll never completely eliminate fear, but you can decide not to let it dictate your actions. You can choose to move even when you feel afraid. Fear will always try to show up, but it's up to you whether you let it stop you. The more you act in faith, the smaller fear becomes. The more you move toward your purpose, the less power fear has over you. You don't need to wait for all the fear to disappear before you take action. You need to step out anyway. Remember this, fear cannot stand in the presence of faith. When you decide that your belief in your future is stronger than your fear of failure, you shift from a place of uncertainty into a place of unstoppable power. Faith will guide you even when you can't see the whole path. And I promise you, when you move in faith, when you step into your future with confidence, fear will no longer be able to keep you in limbo. The fear that once held you back will become the fuel that drives you forward. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. It doesn't happen when everything feels safe, predictable, and easy. If you're waiting for life to hand you a perfectly laid out plan where every step feels secure, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, growth demands discomfort. It requires you to stretch beyond what you thought was possible, to reach for something greater than what you already know. You have to be willing to challenge yourself even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels like you're stepping into the unknown. When you make the decision to grow, you step into a new season of life. You move from a place of stagnation to a place of action. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. As you push past your fears, your doubts, and your insecurities, you will discover new strengths you never knew you had. Every challenge you face along the way will become a stepping stone towards something greater. Every setback, every failure, every tough moment becomes a lesson that builds you into a stronger, more resilient person. Growth also requires persistence. There will be moments when the path forward isn't clear, when it feels like nothing is working, or when you wonder if all the effort is worth it. But remember, growth doesn't happen in a straight line. It's a process. It's about staying committed to the journey even when the end result seems far off. You have to trust that every small step is leading you somewhere significant. Even when it feels like you're not making progress, know that every bit of effort you put in is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. If you stay in your comfort zone, you'll never break free from the grip of limbo. It's only when you commit to your own growth, when you choose to push past what's familiar, that you begin to see real change. It's not about waiting for the perfect opportunity or the ideal moment. It's about growing through the challenges, becoming stronger with every step, and trusting that each moment of discomfort is a necessary part of the journey. Your growth will propel you out of limbo and into a life that is full of purpose, action, and progress. So if you want to break free from that place of waiting, that place of uncertainty, commit to your growth. Commit to the uncomfortable process of becoming better, stronger, and more aligned with your purpose. Your future depends on it. To break free from limbo, there comes a time when you have to release the things that are holding you back. Whether it's past hurts, failures, regrets, or fear of change, these emotional and mental chains weigh you down and prevent you from moving forward. Many of us walk around carrying these burdens even when we don't realize how heavy they are. We hold on to people, situations, and experiences that no longer serve us, and then wonder why we can't progress. But the truth is, you can't step into the new if you're still holding on to the old. Letting go doesn't mean you forget what happened or dismiss the lessons you've learned. It simply means you stop allowing those past experiences to define your present and dictate your future. Every person you encounter, every decision you make, and every step you take needs to be free from the weight of yesterday's mistakes. You need to release the emotional emotional baggage that has been holding you in limbo. Because if you don't, you will remain anchored to a past that no longer serves you. Letting go also means releasing the people who no longer add value to your life. I'm not saying you have to cut off everyone who has ever hurt you, but sometimes we have to recognize when a relationship or connection is keeping us stuck in a place that no longer aligns with where we're trying to go. You cannot continue to pour your energy into people who drain you, who limit you, or who remind you of your past mistakes. Letting go means creating space for people who encourage your growth, who uplift you, and who help you move forward. The act of letting go is not easy. It's a decision, a commitment, and sometimes even a battle. But the power it holds is incredible. Once you release what no longer serves you, once you choose to free yourself from the chains of your past, you create room for something new, something better. You make space for the opportunities that are waiting for you. When you let go, you stop holding yourself back and begin to move freely toward the future you deserve. Remember this, your future can't be embraced until your hands are free. If you're still holding on to what hurt you, what disappointed you, or what didn't work out, you can't grasp the new opportunities that are right in front of you. Let go and let the past be what it is, a lesson. Your future is waiting for you to make the choice to move forward. Living in limbo often feels like you're walking through life without a clear direction or purpose, like you're going through the motions but not really moving toward anything meaningful. But deep down, you know you were made for more. You know there's something bigger than the daily routine that calls out to you, something that stirs your soul and fuels your passion. And that something is your purpose. Your purpose is the reason you were created. It's the unique contribution you're meant to make in this world, the impact you're destined to have. But to step into that purpose, you have to leave the safety of limbo behind and take a bold step toward what you were always meant to do. When you live without purpose, you exist in a fog of uncertainty. You're unsure of what's next, and the fear of making the wrong choice keeps you paralyzed. But here's the truth. You'll never find clarity by waiting for the perfect moment. Purpose is not something that will fall into your lap one day, like a light bulb moment that suddenly clears the path. Purpose is discovered when you move, when you take action, and when you step out in faith, even without all the answers. The moment you decide to step into your purpose, everything begins to shift. You begin to see the world differently. You start recognizing opportunities that align with your calling, and suddenly, doors that once seemed closed begin to open. You may not have all the details, but when you start moving in the direction of your purpose, the next step will always become clear. Purpose fuels passion, and passion fuels action. When you are aligned with your purpose, you stop living on the sidelines of life and you start engaging with it in a meaningful way. Don't wait for everything to be perfect before you step into your purpose. There will always be doubts, always be obstacles, and always be challenges. But if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. Your purpose is already within you. It's not something you need to search for. It's about listening to that inner voice that keeps nudging you towards something greater, something that excites you and pushes you to be your best self. And when you start following that inner calling, you start walking in alignment with what you were meant to do. Living with purpose also means saying no to distractions, to the things that pull you away from your true calling. It means choosing to stay focused even when the world tries to pull you in different directions. When you're clear about your purpose, you become more intentional about your choices. You stop living for approval or external validation, and you begin living for something deeper and more fulfilling. Remember, you were not meant to live in limbo. You were meant to thrive, to create, to contribute, and to make an impact. The moment you step into your purpose, you stop drifting and start living with intention. Your purpose is your roadmap, your fuel, and your driving force. Once you embrace it, you'll find that the path ahead, though not always easy, is always worth it. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Step into your purpose today and watch how everything around you begins to transform. So today, I challenge you to stop living in limbo. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect moment, the perfect everything. The truth is, you already have everything you need within you to step into your future, to embrace the life you were meant to live. Acknowledge where you are, but don't stay there. Make the decision to move even when you don't have all the answers. Push through the fear because your faith is stronger than any obstacle. Embrace the discomfort of growth because it's the very thing that will shape you into who you're meant to be. Release the things that are holding you back, whether they are past hurts, regrets, or fear. Let go of the baggage so you can step into the freedom that comes with living fully in the present and moving toward your future. And most importantly, embrace your purpose. Stop wandering aimlessly. Your purpose is the key that unlocks everything you've been waiting for. It's time to stop living in the shadows and start stepping into the light of who you are and what you're meant to accomplish. You are not meant to live in limbo. You were made for greatness, and the time to move forward is now. So make the decision today. Move with faith. Grow through the challenges. Release what no longer serves you and step boldly into your purpose. The life you're meant to live is waiting for you. Stop living in limbo and start living the life you were always meant to create. Thank you.